Halloween month, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay!
October.
I have to bring up some food science here.
Okay.
I'm currently drinking a Sunday gin, which is I think it's probably my favorite gin right now, and it's from it's small batch stuff from San Diego, so representing. I have mixed it with blackberry LaCroix, and it tastes like cough syrup.
Ew.
Which, here's the thing about me that I don't know if I've ever told this story. When I was a kid, I drank an entire thing of cough syrup because I was like, I have a cold. I'm going to self-medicate. And then my mom got real worried and had to call poison control. But they were like, oh, he's fine. Just make sure he doesn't like sleep too soon. So that was fine. But like, so apparently like NyQuil, I don't give a shit. I can drink that shit all day. I don't care. But it's weird because I'm just thinking, this is like a very special chemical concoction that has just happened to produce the same taste of cough syrup. It's just like weird. I never thought that would happen to me, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Like
it also tastes like Pez. Is Pez cough syrup?
Is cough syrup Pez?
Remember Pez?
Yeah.
Pez dispensers. That's the shit.
Those are probably all collector's items now.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't they still make them? I feel like I've
They
seen them.
still make them.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. It's just very.
But who carries them around?
I want a Zat Pez dispenser.
I want a Zach Baggins Pez dispenser.
If we go to the Honda Museum and he's selling Pez dispensers with his face on there, I'm buying one. I don't give a shit.
Fun fact about Pez dispensers.
You can stick your dick in them. No, sorry. What?
They're also made of dead dinosaurs.
They technically are.
Hey, you want to know what that is? You got to listen to the Dregs, though, gang.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the thick of it now.
I love
their design.
lore.
Their design didn't have a head originally, and they were meant to resemble a lighter. And they dispensed mints, and they were supposed to help you stop smoking.
Oh,
I believe that.
When did they switch to like sugary as all fuck candy?
Chalk, you mean? Not sure.
Chalk.
That is okay.
Sugar
I may
bricks.
need to find a Pez dispenser because I have a mint addiction, and I may need to get a Pez dispenser just so I can do that for mints.
Ooh. So because it's Halloween month, this is this idea has been rolling around my brain for the past few months.
Is it to put a hot dog in a dinosaur? Because I have an unfortunate news. Someone else got there first.
Damn it! No,
well, yeah, this is Kaela's brainchild and all.
Yeah. So one of the things I know a lot of people missed, or I know we missed, is reading stories and joking and making fun of them. But it's kind of hard to do that. So I decided.
I mean, we still do, kind of.
We do, but like a more no hold back, no worries whatsoever. So I have found a public domain story. So I wanted to, because I know it's like if I'm going to pick a story, it has to be in the public domain. And I was shocked to have found this beautiful baby. So, and this also proves another thing that we have said over and over. Writers can write. We won't ever judge the writers if they write something bad, because there's a good chance they could write something really good as well. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely the fucking case with this writer. So this is
Kaela, who is this writer?
Well, let's first begin. This is a book from 1911. Ooh. And this is considered one of the worst novels ever written.
Sweet.
And it's a horror novel. The fun part about where is this? The H.P. Lovecraft commented on this.
Oh no!
While you're looking this up, should we go through the introductions real quick? Because pretty much the whole creative horror gang's all here for this one.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so I am here. I am David. Kaela, I have already mentioned, is here.
Hello.
And we have Alan.
Hi there. I'm drinking a Jack and Coke.
Fantastic. We have Sade.
Hi, I'm here. Hi.
Hi. We have Paprika.
Hello, I am also here.
And we have a Bisney.
Hi, I'm drinking Pez flavored NyQuil.
I just finished my mango cart.
Mango cart's awesome, by the way.
It's fucking great.
There was a great tweet from Jason Pargin, the guy who wrote John Dies at the End, a couple weeks ago. It was, listen to me, Neo. If you take the blue pill, that's NyQuil, and it will put you right to sleep. Or you can take the orange pill, which is Dayquil, and it does absolutely fucking nothing.
Okay, Okay, with all due respect, Dayquil got me through a really bad like chest cold once for like a whole week of work.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
I mean, it's done the same for me too, where it's like, oh shit,
Don't worry, there's nothing in
Woo!
cans falling around.
I think like I know summer's technically ended, but it's still hot as balls.
Mhm.
So if you want like the perfect summer beers, Mango Cart or Come Hell or High Watermelon from 21st Amendment Brewing.
Actually,
Just-
that can you just heard rolling around is a mango cart.
Yeah.
So H.P. Lovecraft referred to the author saying that this author utterly ruins a magnificent idea by a development almost infantile. We've had horror critics like have this listed on one of the worst horror novels ever written. Just it's been on top 10, top 20 horrible horror novels list. But here's the great part. So this novel is called The Lair of the White Worm. And
Shit.
And it's written by Bram Stoker.
Oh shit.
For those who don't know, if you don't know by this point, Bram Stoker also wrote Dracula.
Lair. Sorry.
Dracula.
The Lair
Oh.
with the White Worm is also like a horror comedy movie, and I had no idea they were adapting Bram Stoker to do that.
Yep.
There's
Shit.
some great promotional art online if you Google it.
I
This
may
is
need to like
gorgeous.
watch that movie now because I had no idea.
Oh no,
Especially after we read this.
I think one of the things
That might be a good project for us to all watch together sometime.
Yeah.
It'll be fun as hell.
yeah, I think it might be fun to watch and maybe talk about it after. If I don't, we'll probably only read the first couple chapters of this.
Sure.
This is so 90s.
But I figured this has been out for a very long time. This is a 110-year-old novel. It's been in the public domain for like 10 to 15 years.
So Kayla's basically saying it's okay to make fun of a dead person who can't defend themselves.
They wrote
Absolutely.
But they wrote
100%.
fucking- but he wrote fucking Dracula.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Is-
saying. The
Yeah,
justification.
he's dead.
This
Fuck
is
him.
Bram Stoker.
Fuck him.
He's dead. and
Fuck
he
Bram
also wrote
Stoker's
Dracula.
dead ass.
Turn him into a dinosaur, put
Is
him
the
on your
white
penis.
worm a penis?
No.
The white worm is definitely a metaphor. Also,
Kind of like how Dracula was a metaphor.
Mhm.
I want to go back to the idea of H.P. Lovecraft like talking down someone's work. And like everyone who knows me, I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan as far as his work. Like I've got
Yeah.
Mhm.
10 tattoos referencing his work on my left arm. He is in no position to criticize other people's work as infant or puerile.
It's true.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, dude. You wrote fantasy. You basically wrote fan fiction, just very verbose because you were an Anglophile and you just wanted to write the next epic, but in your own spit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
On. You can't say that.
He wrote fanfics based on Ambrose Bierce. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
like
Bitter beers.
Let's not
Oh,
forget
boy.
he wrote a story that involved giant
pink penguins.
Uh-huh. So HB Lovecraft, stay in your lane. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is more like a.
Hmm.
I mean, if we wanted to come up with ideas to make it better, we can. But let's be honest, there's no reason for it. This is just us to have our fun at it.
And you know what? If people like this enough and we end up having a good time with these first couple chapters, people have been wanting us to do like a proper saga for a while. So if we like what we're doing here, we might see this grow.
Hey, speaking of which, I tweeted about it recently. If anyone out there wants to politely, I'm gonna stress politely and kindly, bother Dronian. I don't even want specific permission to like, hey, let him read us on UCA. If you could get him to say basic, if we can find any record of Dronian saying it's cool if people read my work on their podcast.
Do we know how to contact Dronian?
He has a Tumblr.
He has a Twitter he hasn't posted on in several months. He has a Tumblr. I've sent an ask to the Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
No response.
Nothing from there. I think he's just not super active on social media.
For sure.
I once sent an ask to Dronian when it was open, and when I was still using Tumblr as Midnight Marinara. And I asked him, hey, this is just a goofy question because he was just taking them all. He's like, what does Jerasim do to make enough money to afford multiple fireproof houses? And his response was literally, I don't give a shit. And then a video of some K-pop idol dancing.
So that is par for
Yeah.
the course.
Yeah,
That sounds
so
about right.
But no, if we can get permission, like specific or broad, we're gonna fucking read the true vision of Happy Happy.
Oh,
And,
dear.
well, you know what?
You know
This
what?
actually aligns with my interest too, because I've been wanting to read Happy Happy in space for a long ass time, just
Oh
as
my
like because it's short, it'd just be a one-off on the podcast. But like, I really want to do that too.
Yeah,
So
I think it'd be good to revisit Happy Happy. Weird as that seems, but yes, it's been long enough. The wounds have healed. I think it's time.
And we've only read the shitty, like, not real version
Happy Happy is
that someone eventually vandalized and put Shaq into. Sorry.
Happy Happy is the fucking like that's the closest we're gonna get to Homer's Odyssey these days. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to revisit it after a while
This
and
is
just
a good-
re-examine the madness.
We just need his permission.
It's been a few years. I think we've all had a chance to reevaluate. It'd be cool to read it with some other folks too. Like
Yeah.
have just you guys do it with us. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I think that'd be great. But that being said, should we
Anyway,
venture-
let's fuck the corpse of Bram Stoker.
Yeah.
How do we?
Well, that's gonna be hard to do because there's already a stake. For some reason, we've dug him up, and there's a stake driven through his heart, like through the skeleton.
Just
like
take it
someone
out
really
and that's
took
the
this-
hole.
Oh no!
Do I have to
no.
think of everything? Come on. Just as simple.
Fuck
fair.
Bram Stoker in the vampire hole.
Name of the episode.
So, I'd like to thank Gutenberg for basically
Being cool.
collecting all the public domain novels out there.
I'd like to thank the public
I'm
domain for
stupid.
existing.
Can someone repost it? Like, I
Oh.
can't find it.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, I'll just.
I'd also like to
I
thank.
shared an image I found of when I was searching this.
It's pretty important.
Also, are you sure that it's not a penis?
It could represent a penis.
Oh, definitely.
Here we go. And it's now in the Zoom chat.
Thank you. There we go.
Mhm.
So the story might not be a penis because I think the title of The Lair of the White Worm might imply it's about a vagina.
Well,
Oh,
so we're kind of combining yonic and phallic here. White worm being phallic, lair being yonic.
Or the lair could be a penis and the white worm could be sperm.
There
Or
you
it could be
go.
a tapeworm.
Let's figure out how much of this story is penises.
Yeah.
How much of this story is going to be us just talking about phalluses? So that's the other thing too.
we gotta figure
Did we
out.
decide an order?
Yeah, we have not. I was
No.
just gonna say.
Kayla, I think you should read it first,
Okay.
and then you decide. It's your baby.
I'm looking at the order right now on the Zoom thing, and I think it should go Sade, David, Paprika, Abby, and Alan.
And if anyone out there wants a fun activity after this episode is over, make an edit that's just times we're talking about genitals.
Jesus.
We will
right.
not pay you for this, but
Yeah.
it will take a long time.
It will.
So the first chapter is called Adam Sultan Arrives.
Can I point out that Bram Stoker dedicated this to
Yeah.
my friend Bertha Nickel with affectionate esteem.
We're sorry, Bertha.
Sorry, Bertha.
Yeah, he must have hated her.
Is she like is like his ex or something?
Yeah. Was Bertha the lair of his white worm, if you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Adam Sultan sauntered into the Empire Club Sydney and found awaiting him a letter from his granduncle. He had first heard from the old gentleman less than a year ago when Richard Sultan had claimed kinship, stating that he had been unable to write earlier as he found it very difficult to trace his grandnephew's address. Adam was delighted and replied cordially. He had often heard his father speak of the older branch of the family with whom his people had some long lost touch. Weird way to word that. Some interesting correspondence had ensued. Some interesting, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Adam eagerly opened the letter, which had only just arrived, and conveyed a cordial invitation to stop with his granduncle at Lesser Hill for as long a time as he could spare. This feels very wordy.
This is very love.
Wow.
I have a
Yeah.
note immediately.
Sure.
This is the beginning of your story.
Yes.
It's where you're supposed to hook people.
Yeah.
That's maybe the most boring paragraph.
What
Adam
is the
Sultan
Empire Club? Do we
Sauntered
care?
into the Empire Club.
Also,
It
we're in
was a
Sydney.
dark
Like-
and dingy night.
Also, he found himself waiting. Why is the letter at the Empire Club? What is this Empire Club?
Sauntered into the Empire Club like, what up? I got a big cock.
Like, what up a fuck dead
Like, what up?
dinosaurs?
I got a big lesser hill.
Yeah, we've already heard about the Empire Club in Sydney that we don't know anything about. And he has a letter from a granduncle we don't know that he heard from a year before. Like, it's just, who
Maybe
are
it's
these
a
people?
prologue because I do see
information,
dots.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, it
Page break,
reads,
yeah.
it reads a lot like a movie of just, oh, I'm here at the Empire Club. It's a letter from my uncle. I haven't heard from him and blah, 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 blah. But like in a novel that we don't know who these people are.
Yep.
It's described very like clinically.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It
You
reads
remember
like a
the-
police report.
Hey, for those of you who've read Dracula, do you remember why Dracula worked as a novel? Because it was epistolary style and actually did a good job presenting it as a series of letters.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to be presented as a series of letters, and yet it reads like a series of letters.
It's
Already.
about letters. The first thing's about letters.
Yep.
Sade's turn.
I think Bram
Indeed.
Stoker's obsessed.
Indeed.
Indeed, Richard Salton went on. I am in hopes that you will make your permanent home here. You see, my dear boy, you and I are all that remain of our race, and it is but fitting that you should succeed me when the time comes.
The race, by the way, is vampires. They're vampires.
They're not like secretly genetically related to worms.
You ever notice how sunlight makes you all like, yeah, vampires.
It's not that you're supposed to live in dirt.
In this year of grace, 1860, I am close on 80 years of age, and though we have been a long-lived race, the span of life cannot be prolonged beyond reasonable bounds. I am prepared to like you.
Wow.
If you're a shitbag.
Wow.
Prepared to like you, and to make your home with me as happy as you could wish. So do come at once on receipt of this and find the welcome I am waiting to give you.
Man, Grinder used to be like way different.
You don't swipe left, you prepare to like somebody.
Is granduncle another word for sugar daddy or something?
Oh my god.
Very desperate sugar
Yes,
daddy.
seriously.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make your permanent home here. We've never spoken a day in our fucking lives.
But I like the way you write letters. You have great epistolary.
So there's a younger person coming to an older person's weird old home. How is this not Dracula?
Watch, he's
Yeah.
gonna show up and Richard Salton's gonna be like, I do not sup.
Listen to them, the worms of the night.
All
Richard
right,
Sultan
okay.
arrived at the home. Bram Stoker was there.
Push
This
through
is
it,
Dracula, he said.
Go on,
I
Jane, you
do. I send, in case such may make matters easy for you, a banker's draft for 200 pounds. Is that pounds?
Yep.
Yep, 200
Yep.
pounds.
Come soon so that we may both
Jesus.
both of us enjoy many happy days together. I'll be a very good sugar daddy. Then when you arrive at Plymouth and Southampton.
Oh, no. If you are able,
You
you missed a sentence.
If you are able to give me the pleasure, I am seeing you. Send me as soon as you can a letter telling me when to expect you. Then when you arrive at Plymouth or Southampton, or whatever port you are bound for, wait on board and I will meet you at the earliest hour possible.
Wait, whatever port
Wait, yeah,
you're
this is
bound for?
confusing.
So
What-
if you
what
showed
is
up
he
at
at
a
port
different
or-
port,
on?
Okay, but is he meeting his? I thought he met him in the club.
no,
he-
the letter was in the
he's-
club.
Yeah, the letter was waiting for him in the club. Right now,
Oh.
what I just read was what was in the letter.
Also,
Plymouth or Southampton or I don't know, Timbuktu. You end
Wait.
up at any port.
you
in
could
the
be at
world,
any
I will
port.
find
So-
you.
Just
Wait.
wait on the boat forever. Also, 200 pounds in 1860 was almost
Ah.
like $6,600.
Damn.
So they've never spoken before. He's
Nope.
just received this letter and he's like, I'm 80 years old. I want you to live with me forever.
and be my
Holy
best
shit.
friend.
This is like I have an uncle who's rich. Like this is a scam.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
my
the origin
God.
of the scam.
Is it, yeah, it turns out Richard Salton is also a Nigerian prince.
Jesus.
He's the Australian prince.
Yes. He's
I would
he's the
love-
Fresh Prince of Australia.
I would love if the fucking story was just like, that sounded like a scam, so I burned the letter and went on with my life. The end.
All right, so
What year is this supposed to be in? It's in 1860?
1860.
Yeah.
Written in 1911.
Huh.
Or it was
okay.
published in 1911.
Published, thank you. Yeah.
Right. So this is supposed to be 50 years before the writer of the story. Okay.
All right. Old Mr. Sultan was delighted with Adam's reply. Was delighted when Adam's reply arrived and sent a groom hotfoot to his crony, Sir Nathaniel de Salis, to inform him that his grandnephew was due in Southampton on the 12th of June.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my paragraph.
Okay. Mr. Sultan gave instructions to have ready a carriage early on the important day to start for Stafford, where he would catch the 11:40 a.m. train. He would stay that night with his grandnephew, either on the ship, which would be a new experience for him, or if his guests should prefer it, at a hotel.
Wait,
Giggity.
which one? Just tell us which one happened.
This is like, I feel like I'm reading an old journal. Like, this
Yeah,
is...
This is explaining, like, so here's what we have planned for our trip coming up. We either do this or this.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
it'd be different if he was saying, hey, we can do A or B, but no, this is just being told to us. He would go A or B. Well, no,
Yeah,
tell me which
sure.
one. We'll have to read the story.
In either case, they would start early in the early morning for home. He had given instructions to his bailiff to send the postilion carriage on to Southampton to be ready for their journey home, and arranged for relays of his own horses to be sent at once. He intended that his grandnephew, who had been all his life in Australia, should see something of rural England on the drive. He's, he needs to learn how to not be a dirty Australian.
He was,
You know what?
immediately checked at the port because he's from Australia and therefore a criminal and was sent back.
Oh,
In my head, I'm gonna picture Adam Sultan with a hardcore Aussie accent. Though.
Hells yeah.
Right. He
I'm
had
just picturing
plenty of
Crocodile Dundee. He's Crocodile. He's Crocodile Dundee now.
He had plenty of young horses of his own breeding and breaking, and could depend on a journey memorable to the young man. The luggage would be sent on by rail to Stafford, where one of his carts would meet it. Mr. Sultan, during the journey to Southampton, often wondered if his grandnephew was as much excited as he was at the idea of meeting so near a relation for the first time. And it was with an effort that he controlled himself.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, he thirsty. The endless railway lines and switches round the Southampton docks fired his anxiety afresh.
I take it back. Lovecraft is not this laden with stupid detail.
So how old was Stoker when he wrote this? Because it sounded like he just really wanted to travel.
I want to fuck my great uncle.
Well, I do know for a fact Dracula was written before this, and he was 50 when he wrote Dracula. So he was pretty.
That was written before this?
Yeah.
Oh, so
He
he
must have-
identifies with like the old man then, maybe.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Got
Gross.
your fucking mouth, Uncle Fucker.
Let me look up Lair of the White Worm. It was published in 1911, so he was. Let me see how old Bram Stoker was when this came out. He was born in 1847. So.
Oh yeah, he old man.
He was
old at that point.
64.
And he wrote it for a year when he himself was young.
But
'Cause
did
it's
anyone still need
1860.
or feed him?
No, he didn't write this. Nick. He said he wrote it about 1860.
Right, but he wrote it
Zing.
in 1860. How old would Stoker himself be in
he-
1860?
No. He
No.
wrote it in 1911. It takes place in 1860.
I get that. But how old? When did you say he was born, Kayla?
1847. So
Right. So he would have been what, in his 20s?
No, he would have been 13 if it was 1860.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of like if you wrote a novel and right now and you're like, I'm going to set in 1972.
He wrote this towards the end of his life, so this is like his passion project. This is like he just wanted to do this really badly.
I'm just saying he wrote it for like a younger version of himself because of the year he
Maybe.
chose.
That's
Well,
possible,
Because
yeah.
it'd be like
Did
if we
he?
decided to write a story about the 90s.
Well,
Just saying.
But he has an old person in it. That's probably going to be like a very key concept and character.
He is an old person and a young person. I don't know what that means yet.
It means he has a cast of characters. It doesn't mean anything, really.
It doesn't mean anything. It's interesting to me that he wrote about a year in which he himself was a younger man. Okay.
That's a good point.
That's interesting.
There's nostalgia there, probably.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Is it my turn?
Alan.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's it's Alan.
And then it's Alan.
Okay. As the train drew up on the dockside, he was getting his hand traps together when the carriage door was wrenched open and a young man jumped in. How are you, uncle? I recognized you from the photo you sent me. I wanted to meet you as soon as I could, but everything is so strange to me that I didn't quite know what to do. However, here I am. I'm glad to see you, sir. I have been dreaming of this happiness for thousands of miles, and now I find that the reality beats all the dreaming. What the fuck? As he spoke, the old man and the young one were heartily wringing each other's hands. I am very uncomfortable.
All right, it's based on like the conversation that we had before that paragraph. What I'm understanding is this is a story about older Bram Stoker wanting to fuck his younger self.
Yeah.
All I'm getting so far.
Yeah.
I could make a million jokes about this. Not gonna. Serious question. Hand traps?
Yeah.
What are hand traps?
I need to look that up.
Because it sounds like he brought handcuffs.
Oh God, the first hit is Yu-Gi-Oh, so that doesn't track.
Wait, where does it say hand traps? All it says is that they're shaking their hands really hardcore.
No,
above
it.
Short that line right above it.
As the train drew up to the dockside, he was getting his hand traps together.
They're beaver traps. Hand forged traps. I think they're beaver traps. Is what they're or trap.
Beavers aren't in England.
Well, he's basically he's basically a young Crocodile Dundee. Think about it that way.
No, he's just gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh.
I just looked up. All I looked was I typed up 1860 hand traps, and they said like hand forged traps, and I don't know if it's necessarily beaver traps.
I used to play
all
bass.
I have is Yu-Gi-Oh.
I used to play bass for the British beaver traps.
British beaver traps.
So basically, this boy he's probably got a huge hunting knife too. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah. All right.
The meeting, so auspiciously begun, proceeded well. Adam, seeing that the old man was interested in the novelty of the ship, suggested that he should stay the night on board, and that he would himself be ready to start at any hour and go anywhere that the other suggested.
What? You know.
Get it started.
Start what?
This affectionate willingness to fall in with his own plans quite won the old man's heart. He warmly accepted the invitation, and at once they became not only on terms of affectionate relationship, but almost like old friends. The heart of the old man, which had been empty for so long, found a new delight.
All my kids, fuck them. I hate them. This new kid, he's getting everything.
Friendship ended with nephews. Now friends with random relative I've never seen before. Like, I get that he's trying to say, like, oh, this, you have long lost kindred who are now like fast friends, but it's so quick.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter to someone and they immediately agree with everything I say. Okay, cool.
Now call me daddy.
I just hope they don't get into politics.
No.
The heart of the old man, which had been empty for so long, found a new delight.
Okay.
It's
all right.
It's too easy now.
That is way too easy.
The young man found, on landing in the old country, a welcome and a surrounding in full harmony with all of his dreams throughout his wanderings in solitude, and the promise of a fresh and adventurous life. It was not long before the old man accepted him to full relationship by calling him by his Christian name.
What? Wait, what?
Call me
His
by
first
my
name.
Christian name.
Call me by your name. After a long talk on affairs of interest, they retired to the cabin.
Oh,
Which
Jesus.
the elder was to share.
Oh my God, no!
I'm done. I'm done. I'm calling it here. I'm done.
Richard Salton put his hands affectionately on the boy's shoulders.
Oh, Jesus.
Though Adam was in his 27th year, he was a boy and always would be to his granduncle.
Fuck.
Okay.
And then they fucked. Good night.
The end.
I think we may
That's
have
all,
misinterpreted H.P. Lovecraft's critique. I think I actually just read, dude, this is creepy as hell. What the fuck did you just write? I might be a racist shitbag, but I didn't write this.
Hey, Sade, we're finally reading Fujoshi trash on this show.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
It's not what I asked for, but I'll take it.
We have to make it our own.
And they're related. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That right there, that last line is just so like homoerotic and like unintentionally so. Or maybe,
Who the fuck knows at this point?
Well,
yeah.
it's like,
Dracula was full of sex.
To me, this all reads like the way that like fucking Walt Whitman and James Joyce
That's
right.
I think Bram Stoker's just eternally horny.
Yeah.
Walt Whitman is, describing James Joyce as a splendid boy and like,
oh my god,
come spend the night with me, that kind of shit.
Oh,
Like,
I think he took like extra testosterone.
I know I'm next, and I'm not sure if we can do this. Hold on.
Oh, I'm so sorry you have to read this.
I know.
There's a lot of dialogue.
I know. I am so glad to find you as you are, my dear boy. Just such a young man as I has always hoped for as a son in the days when I still had such hopes. However, that is all past, but thank God there's a new life to begin for both of us.
Bitch, you're 85 in like 1860. You're gonna die.
To you must be the larger part, but there is still time for some of it to be shared in
the life.
Oh,
life. Yeah, like I'm fucking gonna die soon. So please grant an old man this last wish.
No.
He needs to live out his gay fantasy before he dies.
Yeah.
But there is still time
Brought
for
his
some
twink of a nephew. Just springs into the carriage. Hello, uncle.
My dearest twink, I mean nephew. Please meet me at my mansion cabin.
I know this is the cabin in the on the ship. They're spending a night on the ship.
Oh God!
Because
this
Bram
is so
Stoker
sordid.
ships them.
This is so sordid. I hate it.
Oh man,
Thanks, I hate it.
I'm still trying to decide whether Stoker wrote it this way on purpose or not.
Dracula was full of sex. I'm sorry. This has to be intentional.
I've waited till we should have seen each other to enter upon this subject, for I thought it better not to tie up your young life to my older one till we should have sufficient personal knowledge to justify such a venture. No shit.
Gross.
Now I can, so far as I am concerned, enter into it freely.
Oh my God, he's proposing.
I know I'm old and incredibly wealthy, but will you marry me on this ship?
If you're gonna have a sugar daddy, you got to make sure the terms are clear, like how much they're gonna pay out for
written agreements.
Adam, listen, the captain can marry us. He won't ask questions. That's why we're on the ship.
I've paid him a lot of money.
Since from the moment my eyes rested on you, I saw my son, as he shall be, God willing, if he chooses such a course himself.
What?
What?
He wants to name him heir. I think that's what he's saying.
I think the idea is he wants him to be an heir to his wealth and shit.
So did he never have a son?
That's the impression I'm getting.
It sounds like he did, but then or maybe he never did. But like,
we don't know enough because
exactly
Stoker's starting with all the wrong information.
Right.
Yeah.
Of all the details we have that are like completely useless, you think they'd be like, "Hey, I literally don't have an heir. You're the next in line." That would be so much better of a setup than this. Hey, come meet me because here's your shit.
Some sort of vague reference to the fact that his son's no longer alive or no longer a viable
you never
heir.
had one. Like any, what the fuck?
Was he paid by the word? Because that was more like he was writing this as a novel, not as like something.
Well, but he was
old,
so
he didn't have to do what Charles Dickens did.
He was 64 years old, and
no, he wrote this because he wanted to. Like,
that's true.
Really,
he's like, I wrote Dracula. I can write whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, basically.
I can write this smut.
Well, was Dracula well received when it first came out?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Dracula was huge.
Dracula was huge.
Polidori was pissed.
Didn't he poison himself?
Yeah. Did Polidori poison himself?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He just stood off to the sidelines and ate a pickle in frustration. That's a drunk history reference. Anyway.
Oh man. Indeed I do, sir, with all my heart.
He just accepted the proposal. They're married now. It's done.
Should I read this next one, or can I just
go
out there?
Go for it.
I mean, I can read.
You have to read the rest of this.
I can read it if you
I'll
want.
do it. No,
I had a really short one before,
right.
but go ahead.
Thank you, Adam, for that. The old man's eyes filled and his voice trembled. Then after my mind went somewhere terrible. Then after a long silence between them, he went on. When I heard you were coming, I made my will.
There it is.
It was well that your interests should be protected from that moment on. Here is the deed. Keep it, Adam. All I have shall belong to you, and if love and good wishes or the memory of them can make life sweeter, yours shall be a happy one. Now, my dear boy, let us turn in. We start early in the morning and have a long drive before us. I hope you don't mind driving. I was going to have the old traveling carriage in which my grandfather, your great-granduncle, went to court when William
the
Fourth.
Okay, thank you. I'm too tired.
It's okay.
When William the Fourth was king. It is all right. They built well in those days, and it has been kept in perfect order. But I think I have done better. I have sent the carriage in which I travel myself. The horses are of my own breeding, and the relays of them shall take us all the way. I hope you like horses.
Oh my God.
They have long been one of my greatest interests.
Is Bram Stoker a fucking horse fetishist?
You know, I'm getting like, you remember there was that one character you made, Chris Abisme, where you made like a Midwestern guy who just wouldn't stop talking about his life and his. This is like the English 1860s version of that. Some guy that won't stop talking about horses. Nobody fucking cares about your horses.
Oh yeah, like you're honing in on something though, because every writer has their motifs that they put in. Every writer has their mark. And Bram Stoker has mentioned horses and breeding horses and how fast horses go quite a bit. And we're not even to chapter 2.
Horses. I love them,
young
sir.
men and horses. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
I love them, sir, and I'm happy to say I have many of my own. My father gave me a horse farm for myself when I was 18. How loaded is this fucking family?
Apparently,
Here, son,
incredibly.
you know, most people want a pony when they're for their birthday. Have a whole horse farm for your 18th birthday. Jesus, I devoted myself to it, and it has gone on. Before I came away, my steward gave me a memorandum that we have in my own place, more than 1,000, nearly all good. Okay, so this is just rich people being fucking rich and having no morals.
1,000 horses.
Wait. So this kid
He's
is
a
already
horse hoarder.
This kid is already fucking. He's 27, right? Then
Yeah.
This would make more sense if they were in America and he owned 1,000 horses. I don't think he can fit 1,000 horses in fucking England.
Well, no,
no,
he's
no,
in Australia.
Well, no, he was from Australia.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
A good friend of mine actually practices is an active equestrian and lives in Australia, and I've seen her work with horses, so I know there's an active horse equestrian community in Australia, and it goes back a ways too.
We haven't been reading this in Australian.
I actually wanted to ask because there's a bit of dialogue now.
Yep.
If Alan wanted to be the old man and I could be the kid.
Oh my God,
Sure.
yes.
Oh, I love this idea.
I'm glad, my boy. Another link between us.
Just fancy what a delight it will be, sir, to see so much of England and with you.
Thank you again, my boy. I'll tell you all about your future home and its surroundings as we go. We shall travel in old-fashioned state, I tell you. My grandfather always drove four in hand, and so shall we.
What does that mean?
I think it means like
Okay,
four
probably.
horses, like four
Yeah.
horses.
Oh, okay.
With the
Four
reins.
horses.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, sir. Thanks. May I take the ribbons sometimes?
Hold on.
Just say reins,
on.
you freak.
We could turn this 27-year-old man into like a 13-year-old boy.
I was
I'm
about to
sorry.
say you sound like Greg from Over the Garden Wall.
As
No.
Bram Stoker intended, I'm sure.
I could try doing an Australian accent. I just don't think it'll come out very well.
It's
Yes,
all right.
yes,
You don't
do
have
that.
to.
Do that.
Oh, thanks, sir. Thanks.
You sounded Texan there, actually.
May I take the ribbons sometime?
South
No, I can't do
Australia.
it. I give up.
Okay, don't do it.
No, it's not gonna work. May I take the ribbons sometimes?
Whenever you choose, Adam, the team is your own. Every horse we use today is to be your own.
What the fuck?
You are too generous, Uncle.
Not at all. Only an old man's selfish pleasure.
Oh.
It is not every day that an heir to the old home comes back. And, oh, by the way, no, we had better turn in now. I shall tell you the rest in the morning.
Answer in the
What?
morning.
And that's where the chapter ends. What
Anyway, sodomy. Got any opinions on it?
You ever been to a Turkish prison?
Never seen a grown man naked?
The cast walls of Castra Regis.
Chapter 2.
It reminds me of the Reigns of Castamere.
Oh God. You know why I can't relate to anyone in this story though? A further thing that alienates us. It's just a bunch of fucking rich assholes.
And
Yeah.
Castor Regis is literally just like the rich land.
If I was a wealthy individual
God.
in Australia with thousands of horses, why would I go see whatever? Should I start from the beginning? Or
I think it's my turn.
yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Sultan had all his life been an early riser. I'm sure he was. And necessarily an early, I was going to say wanker. That's waker, an early waker. But early as he woke on the next morning, and although there was an excuse for not prolonging sleep in the constant whir and rattle of the donkey engine.
What?
That's right.
What does any of this mean? I know what all of these words are individually.
Are they still on the ship or are they on a carriage? I
They're
gotta
still
know.
They're
on the
waking
ship.
up on the ship.
They're still waking
Donkey engine.
They're waking up on a donkey engine.
Okay,
apparently.
I
It's a
could look up
mechanical
donkey engine, but I'm not gonna because I don't care.
It
Yeah.
might as well have said applesauce rickshaw, tambourine ghost.
Oh, the constant whir and rattle of the donkey engine winches of the great ship. He met the eyes of Adam fixed on him from his birth. Gross. His grandnephew had given him the sofa, occupying the lower berth himself. Gross. The old man, despite his great strength and normal activity, he's 85. What great strength does he have? Was somewhat tired by his long journey of the day before and the prolonged and exciting interview which followed it. So he was glad to lie still and rest his body, whilst his mind was actively exercised in taking in all he could of his strange surroundings. It's a boat. Adam, too, after the pastoral habit to which he had been bred, woke with the dawn and was ready to enter on the experiences of the new day whenever it might suit his elder companion. This is the most tawdry writing I have
If they
ever
don't
read in my
fuck, I'm
life.
gonna be so mad.
Oh my God. It was little wonder then that so soon as each realized the other's readiness, they simultaneously jumped and began to dress. I'm sure the 86-year-old jumped out of his bed. The steward had by previous instructions early breakfast prepared, and it was not long before they went down to the gangway on shore in search of the carriage.
He jumps out
Holy
of bed and
shit.
does a musical number like Grandpa Joe and fucking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I've got a golden nephew.
Oh my
He's
God.
got 1,000 horses.
Silly question. What is the steward in this particular instance? Is that the guy taking care of the horses? Is it a footman? Is it a butler?
It's
I
just
think-
an assistant.
I think it's
Okay.
it could, yeah.
It's the guy babysitting this old bastard.
Yeah. I've grown tired of my
It's the guy that the money probably should be going to.
Probably.
Yeah, honestly.
It's Alan's
Okay.
turn.
They found Mr. Sultan's bailiff looking out for them on the dock, and he brought
Oh
them.
my
at
God.
once.
Is he a bailiff or a steward?
Yes.
And he brought them at once to where the carriage was waiting in the street. Richard Sultan pointed out with pride to his young companion on the suitability of the vehicle for every need of travel. And then there was a dude fucking a bear. Sorry, that didn't actually happen. Did you think maybe something actually fucking happened in this story?
This is okay.
So far, there's been a letter and a boat ride.
Wait, and I think you skipped Kaela was next, I think.
No.
No.
It's
Alan's
Alan,
after.
then me,
Alan's
then
after
me.
me.
To it were harnessed 4 useful horses.
We already talked about how there were 4 horses. This is why is
No,
Bram
no.
Stoker padding his own fucking story
These are-
that he had no business writing?
These aren't just horses, though, Abisme. These are useful horses that have to be
Whoa.
established.
By
It's
the
important.
way, so apparently,
I haven't played bass for this band. Sorry. But does anyone want to start the band 4 useful horses?
4 useful horses of the apocalypse.
With the postilion to each pair. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay.
that is
Like I really am starting to understand H.P. Lovecraft and his critique already, which is, wow, the Lair of the White Worm sounds like a really cool idea. What the fuck are you writing? What the fuck who cares about these horses? Get to the point, dude.
I should also let you know that I'm not I think this is so he wrote something much no, this is the full one. So apparently there is an abridged one that's worse, I think. I don't know. I gotta look that this is from Wikipedia, but
I just think it's beautiful how much information they've given us, but I still have no idea how many people they're with, where exactly in England they are, like what exactly the fuck they're doing.
They're in Southampton.
Okay.
We know
that much. That's the hardest detail we have right now is that they are in Southampton and nothing else of note.
Nothing of Southampton has been described.
Imagine if I wrote a book called Murder on Fuckshit Mountain and the entire contents of the book were like a manual for a Volkswagen bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
They found so you said the old man proudly?
No.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. Sorry,
okay.
You're right.
So you said the old man proudly? How tall I'll try a British accent and have every British person listening be like, oh God, why? How it has all the well, no, I can't.
Just go Cockney. How it all has the luxuries of
travel in there, governor.
Yeah, how it has all the luxuries.
Worst one possible.
How it all has the luxuries of a use for travel, silence and isolation as well as speed.
Silence and insulation.
Insulation. There's nothing to obstruct the views of those traveling, and no one to overhear what they might say. I've used that trap for a court. Wait, is that
what?
Trap?
What?
Is that the carriage? Is that what it is?
I think
yes,
that might be
but
what
he's
it is.
describing it as a trap.
Yeah. I've used that trap, carriage.
I've used that trap on many a young man. Carriage.
Well, quarter of a century, so for a quarter of a century, and I never saw one more suitable for travel. You shall test it shortly. We are going to drive through. Wow, then I got into a southern accent. We're going to drive through the heart of England, and as we go, I'll tell you what I was speaking of last night. Our route is to be by Salisbury, Bath, Bristol, Cheltenham, Worcester, Stafford, and so home.
Okay.
Salisbury, where they make microwave dinners.
Good job, by the way, getting Worcester.
Bath, where you will do something you do every other day.
Hey, the baths in Bath are pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Are they?
Adam remains silent.
They're Roman baths. So.
Oh, that's why. Is that literally why it's called Bath?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Adam remained silent a few minutes, during which he seemed all eyes, for he perpetually ranged the whole circle of the horizon.
Bloody hell! They got trees here.
Wait! Are they traveling right now, or are they just?
Yeah,
standing?
it sounds like
yes.
I'd hope so, because it almost sounded like he was standing there and they were just like.
I hope we get at least 4 more chapters of them traveling to where they're going to.
I think they're just talking about how they're gonna travel.
Oh God, I want them to be on the road.
So wait.
No, they're on the road.
Are they?
I think so.
No, because it was like they stopped at the carriage so he could talk about how good this carriage is for travel.
Oh, you're right.
So basically,
the
last couple pages could have been summed by they became friends quite quickly, and then they traveled around England.
They got into the carriage. Their route was Salisbury, Bath, Bristol, Cheltenham, Worcester, Stafford, and so home. And this is what they saw.
Here's what happened. So they're just standing looking at this carriage, but it says here Adam remained silent a few minutes. So they've stood there in silence for like a few minutes, like, yeah. And he seemed all eyes, and he's just like, okay, so we're gonna go in yet? Like, are we gonna start this? What the fuck?
The amount of padding. Even the characters in the story know of the padding.
Stoker is enjoying this non-story so much.
Stoker is just wanking off on the page right now.
Oh man. Okay. Has our journey today, sir, he asked, any special relation to what you said last night that you wanted to tell me? Not directly, but indirectly, everything.
Fuck you.
Won't you tell me now?
You gonna say anything to move the story along? No.
Are we going to the steakhouse? No. Maybe. Yeah, probably. Fuck you.
Won't you tell me now where the fuck this story is going? I see we cannot be overheard. And if anything strikes you as we go along, just run it in. I shall understand.
You know what? It would be because I'm thinking to myself, why the hell are they not just like taking the train, which would have been up and running at this point in England?
Yeah.
But like, there's the justification is I don't want to be overheard and I don't want to like mix with the commoners or some bullshit. That would have been nice in this story because it would have added like some context and some flavor. But it's just Bram Stoker explaining how much he loves horses.
Oh man. All right. So is it me?
Yes.
Okay. So old Sultan spoke. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
To begin at the beginning, Adam, that lecture of yours on the Romans of Britain, a report of which you posted to me, set me thinking.
What?
In addition
When did
to
that
telling,
happen?
apparently, this is one of the. He wrote he wrote an essay or a report of something to his uncle while he was in Australia. Like what?
Okay.
So
Why
now we're
is
getting
this the first we're hearing of it?
Yeah. I mean, we got some context. Only context we got was that they were writing back and forth for a bit.
The way he phrased that, right? He could have said, "You once wrote me a lecture. You once sent me one of your lectures," but instead he acts like we already know what he's talking about.
Yeah, and the lecture of yours, "The Romans of Britain," a report of which you posted to me. That's exposition, I guess. Set me thinking. In addition to telling me your tastes, I wrote to you at once and asked you to come home, for it struck me that you were fond of historical research, as seemed a fact. That was exactly the place for you, in addition to it being home of your forebears. If you could learn so much of the British Romans so far away in New South Wales, where there cannot be even a tradition of them, what might you make of the same amount of study on the very spot? Where are we going to where we are going is in the real heart of the old kingdom of Mercia, where there are traces of all the various nationalities which make up the conglomerate that has become Britain.
I wish
a roundabout way of
story.
saying.
I wish the story started with this paragraph.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it necessarily needed to start with this paragraph, but if they really wanted these two characters to bond, instead of saying, and then they bonded, what they could have done is talked about the Romans in Britain or some historical fact that both
this could have been two colleagues at a university discussing things. But
Why did it have to be
so many better
creepy,
setups?
Why did it have to be a creepy?
These two bonding could have potentially been an interesting thing to read, and instead they are focusing on every uninteresting thing possible.
Yeah, and we're getting into like this is something Lovecraft loves. He loves studying the history of where the English came from. Oh, the Romans to Britain. Oh, it's so interesting. Like this is probably why Lovecraft read it in the first place. But good fuck.
Oh my god.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Did you read Conglomerate, which became Britain?
Yes.
Yep, I did.
I rather gathered.
I used to play
that
bass
you
for
had
Rather Gathered.
some.
My
that you
favorite
had
Muppet show. Rather gathered.
Oh god, I wish for some reason I don't think I could do an Australian accent right now. But I don't think they'd say I'd rather gathered. That you had some more definite, more personal reason for my hurrying. After all, history can keep, except in the making. What?
Quite right, me boy. I had a reason such as you very wisely guessed. I just went to Australian. Whoops. I was anxious for you to be here when a rather important phase of our local history occurred.
What is that, if I may ask, sir?
Certainly. The principal landowner of our part of the country is on his way home, and there will be a great homecoming, which you may care to see. The fact is, for more than a century, the various owners in the succession here, with the exception of a short time, have lived abroad.
Fucking,
oh boy.
This fucking...
Oh my god.
How is that, sir, if I may ask?
I can take this or someone else.
I'm having an anxiety attack just re-looking at okay.
I'll do it.
Okay.
The great house and estate in our part of the world is Castro Regis, the family seat of the Caswell family. The last owner who lived here was Edgar Caswell, grandfather of the man who is coming here, and he was the only one who stayed even a short time. Why is this important? The man's grandfather, also named Edgar,
Allan Poe.
They keep the tradition of the family Christian name, quarreled with his family, and went to live abroad, not keeping up any intercourse, good or bad, with his relatives. Although this particular Edgar, as I told you, did visit his family estate, yet his son was born, lived, and died abroad, while his grandson, the latest inheritor, was also born and lived abroad till he was over 30, his present age.
Oh my God, I don't care.
This was the second line of absentees. The great estate of
This is where you put a family tree in your book in a page where you don't always have to look at it.
See Appendix 1.
I know we're not even a third of the way through it, but
fuck this paragraph.
The great estate of Castra Regis had no knowledge of its owner for 5 generations, covering more than 120 years. It has been well administered, however, and no tenant or other connected with it has had anything of which to complain. All the same, there has been much natural anxiety to see the new owner. We are all very excited about the event of his coming. Even I am.
Why?
Who cares? Though I own my own estate, which, though adjacent, is quite apart from Castra Regis. Here we are now in new ground for you. This is the spire of Salisbury Cathedral. Wait, is he saying this as we're okay?
Now
I don't know.
I think now they're moving.
That is
pointing shit out. Oh, maybe like those dashes are like different, or just like shit is like pauses in between shit he's saying as they're traveling.
This is where you break up your block paragraph of exposition and say, and now they're moving through Salisbury. But we don't know that.
And we leave that we shall be getting closer to the old Roman county, and you will naturally want your eyes. Wait, what?
I know what he means, but it's poorly stated.
So we shall shortly have to keep our minds on old Mercia. However, you need not be disappointed. My old friend Sir Nathaniel de Salis, who, like myself, is a freeholder near Castra Regis, his estate, Doom Tower.
What? Why is it the story about Doom Tower?
Oh my God.
On the border of Derbyshire. That sounds so much better.
I love the fact that we say Doom Tower and Gracie starts freaking out. Gracie.
It's a portent of Doom.
Gracie knows what's up.
Need to like add some like lightning clashes, I guess, when that was read.
Yeah.
And then follow with Gracie barking.
So like every time we say Doom Tower, it's gonna be like Frau Blucher.
Yeah.
Oh man, Bram Stoker.
They are into horses in this story, so.
Oh,
Bram Stoker stole a plot point from my upcoming book, Murder at Fuck Shit Mountain.
Yeah.
It's over the border of Derbyshire. On the peak is coming to stay with me for the festivities to welcome Edgar Caswell. He is just the sort of man you will like. He is devoted to history and is president of the Mercian Archaeological Society. He knows more of our own part of the country with its history and people than anyone else. I expect he will have arrived before us, and we 3 can have a long chat after dinner. He's invited this guy for a threesome. Jesus. He is also our local geologist and natural historian. So you and he will have many interests in common. Among other things, he has a special knowledge of the peak and its caverns, and knows all the old legends of prehistoric times.
Oh my God, I don't care.
Fuck me with a soft dick.
I don't care.
Jesus.
This all could be explained through character dialogue with the actual character. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
I love the fact that
No, I like the mental image I have of the young guy not saying anything and the old guy just like nonstop not shutting the fuck up this whole trip.
and it just fades into that low pass filter where it goes there's like a tinnitus ring. It's just like
I love
this is where you montage the outside and you blur all these unimportant words.
I like the idea that like that would happen, but then he says just out of nowhere, Doom Tower, and he's like, wait, Uncle, go back. But he doesn't listen. He's just still droning.
I'm sorry, what Doom Tower? Oh yeah, over in Derbyshire. It's fine.
Can we talk about the fact that like they were right outside their carriage? Doesn't make many mention of them getting in the carriage. They're still talking, and then they're like, oh look, there's the Salisbury. Wait, they're traveling now. We have so much exposition, but so little exposition as to what is actually happening in the story. We just have information. It's so bad. Okay.
Oh my God. Hey, Sade, I think you're out.
Was it me or did we skip Alan so he didn't have to read that paragraph?
It's back to you.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
What's that name?
Night at
Cheltenham?
Cheltenham?
Cheltenham, probably.
Cheltenham. Yeah. Cheltenham.
Okay. They spent the night at Cheltenham. Now move on. There's a lot of fucking. And on the following morning,
And then they
resumed their
bonded.
journey. Some more with the horses too.
Oh God.
The horses
Everybody
were
got
there.
a turn holding them ribbons. On the
And
following
then they busted
morning,
out the hand traps.
their journey to Stafford. Adam's eyes were in constant employment, and it was not till Stanton declared that they had now entered on the last stage of their journey that he referred to Sir Nathaniel's coming.
No, please, not more.
No.
Jesus.
Very good.
No, it's David.
David.
sorry,
Oh yeah,
David.
sorry. As the dusk was closing, they drove on to Lesser Hill, Mr. Sultan's house. It was now too dark to see any details of their surroundings. Adam could just see that it was on the top of a hill, not quite so high as that which was covered by the castle, on whose tower flew the flag, and which was all ablaze with moving lights, manifestly used in the preparation for the festivities on the morrow. So Adam deferred his curiosity till daylight. His grand uncle was met at the door by a fine old man who greeted him warmly.
Hey,
See
came
that
up-
that made sense.
That was nice.
That was kind of moody and
We're
neat.
getting some concise paragraphs after he vomited all over the page.
No, he
Yeah.
just like, I live in Kingsland. Literally, it means Kingsland. Look at me. I'm rich. That was the whole fucking paragraph.
Rich fucks being rich. Down with the
I can't-
bourgeoisie.
I came over as early as you wished. I suppose this is your grand nephew. I am glad to meet you, Mr. Adam Sultan. I am Nathaniel de Salis, and your uncle is one of my oldest friends. We've bonded many, many times.
Over horses and
I
beer.
was laughing at your snide delivery of, I suppose this is your grand nephew.
Doesn't look that grand to me. And can
Adam,
Nathaniel
from the
DeSalis be played by Raul Julia?
Adam, from the moment of their eyes meeting, felt as if they were already friends. The meeting was a new note of welcome to those that had already sounded in his ears.
I love that the story is like person meets person. They were friends. Nothing else has to be developed. It's cool. Don't worry. I'm going
No
to focus on
conflict.
horses.
There's no conflict right now.
There's no
whatsoever.
conflict. All we know so far is that there's a Doom Tower somewhere. That's the only hint of conflict.
I don't know how much more we're going to read of this, but like if the Doom Tower doesn't play heavily into it, this book fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is going to
Oh
be
no!
an adventure.
I'm already committed that this is multi-part. We're gonna read this whole fucking book.
No, we are.
I'm in, I'm in,
If
I'm in.
everybody else doesn't, I'm gonna.
How long is this, guys? This is.
I mean, how many
We're
more gay
only
jokes
getting to
can we
chapter 2
make?
tonight. Like we're
I
only
know,
finishing-
but this is.
I'm down. But
I mean, we're like we've
28
read, like
paragraphs.
It
Fucking
could get
chapters.
28 chapters.
28 chapters.
Here's my pitch though. It's not like we have to do it all in one marathon. We can when we feel like hitting more of the story, we can hit more of the story.
This is a year of episodes.
Yeah, exactly. It's
how many
content.
episodes per month is either you if
Yeah.
from UCA?
And
Two
it'll be
episodes per
4
month.
months. It'll be
Mhm.
4 months of episodes before something happens in the story.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it's like 20. That's like about.
And can you imagine?
we're gonna have to find some way to give ourselves conflict while we read this story
We'll
where
find
nothing
a way.
happens.
We'll find a
Here's
way.
the thing. I've read the summary of this just because I wanted to make sure this was the story would work. Doom Tower does play an important role,
Okay, that is
And
its
it-
one saving grace.
Okay.
and there actually is a lot more drama.
Kayla, I don't even remember exactly what Kayla said, but parts of it when the summary was described to me sounded like Buck Wild, just in context. If not, probably the writing is probably dry as dirt, but you know.
Oh, maybe this is Bram Stoker's Malignant then.
I don't know.
It's kind of run of the mill for like the first 2 acts, and then it just goes fucking bonkers.
Well, okay, Malignant was batting 400 out the gate, though.
Yeah.
This wasn't. So, okay, the cordiality with
What's
which
for its
Sir,
time?
the cordiality with which Sir Nathaniel and Adam met made the imparting of information easy. Unlike this story, Sir Nathaniel was a clever man of the world who had traveled much and within a certain area studied deeply.
Why
He
don't
was
we
a
hear
bri-
this as dialogue between the two characters?
Right. He was a brilliant conversationalist and was to be expected.
Now they say that.
Not that you're going to hear any of it, but whatever. And as was to be expected from a successful diplomatist, you mean a diplomat?
Diplomatist?
Diplomatist?
Sure.
Even under unstimulating conditions, much like
Here
the
we
story.
have an example in the wild of Englishmen just inventing words.
I've hired the local photographers to come by.
It's perfectly understandable.
But he had been touched and to a certain extent fired by the younger man's evident admiration and willingness to learn from him. Accordingly, the conversation, which began on the most friendly basis, soon... Did fucking Bob Ross write this story? Look, everyone involved is great. They're all good. They're all excited. There's no mistakes here.
They had to spend some nights together to beat the devil out of it, you know? Like...
Okay, where the fuck was I? Because I don't care.
Accordingly, the conversations.
Yeah, around there.
According to the conversation, which began on the most friendly basis, because
Right.
it could not possibly be under any other circumstances. Everyone's cool. It's all cool. Don't worry about it, reader. Soon warmed to an interest above proof, as the old man spoke of it next day to Richard Salton.
Wait, we're jumping
Fuck
ahead in
me.
time now?
God damn it. He knew already that his old friend wanted his grandnephew to learn all that he could of the subject in hand, and so had, during his journey from the peak, put his thoughts in sequence for narration and This is describing thought patterns now. This is so boring. Accordingly, Adam had only to listen, and he must learn much that he wanted to know, because that's how learning works. When dinner was over and the servants had withdrawn, leaving the three of at their wine, Sir Nathaniel began. Oh, that fucking paragraph was pointless.
Okay. I need to make this pitch to Abysme.
Okay.
You didn't seem on board for us continuing to read this, but hear me out.
Okay.
Oh God.
We know what we're in for now.
Yes.
We show up.
Mm.
We drink heavily.
Yeah. Like,
What if
That's
can I-
really the extent of,
listeners,
that's really
this
the
is just
extent
a
of my
taste.
pitch.
let me throw a monkey into this wrench, or monkey wrench into this whatever.
No.
Why did you throw a monkey
monkey
in that
into
wrench,
this
Kaela? What did that monkey do to you?
Oh my God, I'm not even drinking either. So I'm gonna say a word that because again I read the summary, and I'm gonna add a word that's going to happen or play an important role later on, and that word is weasels.
Man,
What? That is not the word I was expecting.
this story forever. We're reading this story forever now.
I will continue to read it on Alan's proposition, and also because Doom Tower's in it, and this
We
this
could
is
make it into a drinking game where every time like the Doom Tower or weasels or whatever is mentioned.
we can make up a lot of tropes, but
Yeah.
like this is plain bullshit, and that's my jam. So I am in, despite how fucking pissed off I am right now with that fucking paragraph.
Here's what we do. Okay. We can make a fun game of this.
Okay.
Okay, Bisme. Here's what we're going to do. After this episode, we're going to meet in private, and we're going to, using details just from these first two chapters,
Okay.
come up with a themed cocktail for us to drink for the next episode.
Yes.
And we'll call it the Lair of the White Worm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I got it already.
But for
Word salad.
every episode, we're going to utilize whatever we've read from the previous episode to make a cocktail for the next one.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah.
This
You
is
sold me.
I'm down for this.
guys. We're sitting on a gold mine here. This is fantastic. I am so.
I
looking
hope
forward to
all
doing
you
this with
listeners like this, because this is going to be the channel for the next 4 months.
Yes.
I
Yes.
also suggest that once you guys come up with your cocktails, you give everyone a recipe list beforehand so that
Oh,
we
hell
can
yeah.
all
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
well in
Yes.
advance,
So the
that we
listeners
be
can drink
prepared.
along.
I need to find a fucking apothecary and get like tons of cool ingredients, because we're going to need bitters. We're going to need all sorts of cool
Oh
shit.
no, I've already got some ideas going.
Okay.
We need to finish this chapter.
Yeah,
though.
Yes.
It's not that long, and it's
But this is us just having a field day with
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Honestly,
Yeah, we're as wordy as this damn story is.
But the problem is, even if you have like 5 sentences per paragraph where nothing happens, you read that and your brain goes, what did I just read? What actually transpired? So you have to reread it. So it just takes twice as long anyway to comprehend it.
I think 2 chapters at a time will probably be the ideal way to read this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hey, can I be in on the cocktail planning, or is that just gonna be between the 2 of you?
No, for sure. You're in.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to be in is in.
Yeah,
I guess we're out. Shit.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck you.
You know what?
I just said anyone who wants to be in.
I can come. I'd be willing to come up with like a food item or like a rest.
That's an idea.
We should have food
half of
while
us
we're
can do
doing
drinks
this.
and half of us can do food.
Some of us we can pair it with the drinks. We find something that pairs well with the drink.
I feel like I would be better for the food team.
Yeah, I can come up with something for food.
All right, I'm on team drink then.
Okay, can we call the first cocktail 4 useful horses?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we could be a spin on the 4 horsemen, which might kill some of us in this group.
That is straight up murder.
I'm thinking the meal for the meal to come with that would be a Salisbury steak.
Oh, there we go.
So you're here. We were going to talk about this in private, but now you're hearing us plan.
Well, we can do.
I'm
also,
spitballing. What the actual thing will be, we'll decide later.
Yeah, we're throwing some ideas out right now, but she'll do once we have it all.
I have a bunch of ideas I'm not mentioning while we're on mic for the episode.
Yeah. So let's leave it at that, and then we'll convene when we're done. Hey, everybody listening, this is probably not going to get edited out because I just enjoy you get to enjoy the raw. Like this is. I think what the story is trying to channel is the like feelings of instant friendship that happens when certain weird subjects are brought up. This is happening now, but we've already known each other, all of us, for like years. And yet here we are in this moment and we're all bonding over this dumbass story. And it's like,
good shit.
I'm loving it. I'm living for it. I'm living for it right now.
Once we have like our drink plan and the food plan for the next episode, we can also put that on like say the Patreon.
Oh,
for our listeners, because also prep it ahead of time for the next episode.
I love it. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Who's going after? Who's going to have Sir Nathaniel begin? Who was next?
I believe it was Abby.
Yes,
Abby
Wait,
read
not Abby. Sorry,
I just read because I was
Alonso.
angry as fuck.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan's next.
I gather from your uncle, by the way, I suppose we'd better speak of you as uncle and nephew instead of going into exact relation. He fucking knows.
Oh my god.
Yes, I once had an uncle too.
Oh my god.
That's not how I typically laugh. That reaction just like came out of like somewhere, like a part of my stomach I didn't know existed.
I don't know if there's just turns of phrase that are like over 100 years old that we don't know about, or this is actually just written very poorly. I don't know anymore.
I think that it would not surprise me if the way English language has changed has specifically made all of these phrases gay, like super gay.
But like even simpler than that, like the idea of you don't call someone by their Christian name unless you like know them close. Get that.
To everyone listening, I don't know if I got that whole sentence out, so just to make sure, I suppose we had better speak of you as uncle and nephew instead of going into exact relationship?
Question mark?
In fact, your uncle is so old. How old is he? And dear friend, that with your permission, I shall drop formality with you altogether and speak of you and to you as Adam, as though you were his son.
Oh,
I should like, answered the young man, nothing better.
I have no personality. I'm a sycophant.
Yeah, Adam Salted. None of these characters have personality.
This dude is the biggest fucking sap I've ever read.
Here's the thing.
I'm your great uncle. Okay, come to me to Southampton. All right.
This is wonderful.
You like boats? Sure.
like
what about horses? Okay.
We never learned what the fuck the Edward Club is. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
It's like
or the Empire Club.
Empire
That's
Club.
how bad. See, that's how much I've forgotten for this
It's
far
like
already.
if you guys were introducing me to friends of yours and like, this is Alan, the funniest fucking person I know. And I think I'm pretty funny, but they don't know me, and that puts a lot of pressure on me immediately.
Yep. The answer warmed the hearts of both the old men, but with The usual avoidance of Englishmen of emotional subjects personal to themselves. They instinctively return to the previous subject.
Damn.
Okay,
Damn.
that's actually pretty fucking funny.
Dude, okay.
Bram Stoker's got barbs.
That's a check. That's a point to Bram Stoker. Right
Okay,
there. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
You're at -15, so you're not really in the positive, but there's 1 point.
You're in the hole pretty bad.
Sir Nathaniel took the lead. Oh God.
They began to dance.
I understand, Adam, that your uncle has posted you regarding the relationships of the Caswell family.
Partly, sir, but I understood that I was to hear minor details from you, if you would be so good.
Minuter.
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 Minimum, minor.
Motor. Like the minutes of a meeting.
I
That doesn't
understood
make
that I
any
was
sense.
to hear Minotaur details from you.
Like that one really good Clutch song.
I shall be delighted to tell you anything so far as my knowledge goes. Well, the first Caswell in our immediate record is an Edgar, head of the family and owner of the estate, who came into his kingdom just about the time that George III did. He had one son of about 24. There was a violent quarrel between the two. No one of this generation has any idea the cause, but considering the family characteristics, we may take it for granted that though it was deep and violent, it was on the surface trivial.
What?
Okay.
He had one
Although
son
it was
of
rather
24.
deep, it's trivial on the surface. What the fuck does that mean?
Did 23 of his children die?
Yes.
Here's the other thing too. Did they drag Adam out to
24 is the
England?
age.
And all these people together?
He's the age of the son.
Oh.
No, yeah. But I mean, like, did they drag all these people out here just to hear hot goss about the local family that's nearby and all the trouble they're having? Because that's all I hear is just gossip. Did you hear that this family was being really shitty?
I would rather hear about Edgar and his 24-year-old son fucking beating the shit out of each other than anything else in the story.
I mean, it's true, but like, just the reasons they're so curious about the Caswell family has no basis other than like, hey, did you hear about the Caswells? You hear how nuts they are?
Yeah,
it's really important that we know the family history, because I'm sure that's going to play into the fact that, like, at the beginning was about with the last.
Yeah, but none of us are going to remember this.
Well, but like the beginning of the story is like, this is about the last of our race, and I'm sure that has to do something with the worm. But it is not being hinted at or like led up to in any decent fashion at all.
So, in saying the last of our race, do you think he was talking about the worm, or do you think he was like being like?
I think he might.
Super
I think he meant to
classist
say.
or racist.
I think he was talking about family lineage.
Yeah, the bloodline.
I think he's talking about.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
The race of the Mercians?
Guys, we have like 6 more
Maybe.
paragraphs. Let's get through this.
Okay.
I just want to get this out of the way before we continue.
Okay.
Because we are almost at the end. But I want us to keep this in mind as we continue to read this story throughout the rest of. I want us to keep a running tally of any time this story yada yada yada's something more interesting than what's being talked about.
So far, it's 3 times Doom Tower, the fight between Edgar and his son, and what, one other maybe?
Any sort of like development of the friendship between the old man and this new guy.
I feel like there's going to be a drinking game developed at some point.
Yeah, with the cocktails we dream up.
Yeah.
Speaking of, where were we? Oh yeah, because it's from to me now, right? Because Sage just read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The result of the quarrel was that the son left the house without a reconciliation or without even telling his father where he was going. He never came back again. A few years after, he died without having in the meantime exchanged a word or a letter with his father. He married abroad and left one son who seems to have been brought up in ignorance of all belonging to him. The gulf between them appears to have been unbridgeable. In time the son married and in turn had a son, but neither joy nor sorrow brought them sundered together. Under such conditions, no rapprochement.
Reproachment.
And
That's not how you spell reproach.
It's not the same word.
And it's italicized for some reason.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Under such conditions, no rapprochement was to be looked for, and an utter indifference founded at best on ignorance took the place of family affection, even on community of interests. It was only due to the watchfulness of the lawyers that the birth of this new heir was ever made known. He actually spent a few months in the ancestral home.
Okay, so we are establishing that the people who stay here, there's people who stay here, and there's people who leave here for undisclosed reasons. And that's going to be the crux of like this place. The lair of the white worm is Castor Regis. Like,
Yes.
that's the point. Cool. This would have been amazing a chapter ago. Like, this would have hooked me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I chuckled when you said he married abroad and left one son. I thought you said abroad as 2 words.
Yeah, he married abroad. He married abroad.
He married some dame.
The lawyers know about it, whatever.
After this, the family interest merely rested on the heirship of the estate. As no other children have been born to any of the newer generations in the intervening years, all the hopes of heritage are now centered on the grandson of this man.
Okay.
Cool. Now it will be well for you to bear in mind the prevailing characteristics of this race. These were the well-preserved and unchanging. One and all, they are the same: cold, selfish, dominant, reckless of consequences in pursuit of their own will. Aquarius. It was not that they did not keep the faith, though that was a matter which gave them little concern, but that they took care to think beforehand of what they should do in order to gain their own ends. You know, like anyone who plans anything, if they should make a mistake, someone else should bear the burden of it. This was so perpetually recurrent that it seemed to be a part of a fixed policy. It was no wonder that, whatever changes took place, they were always insured in their own possessions. They were absolutely cold and hard
Describing
natured.
rich people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So basically, these people are assholes.
They're rich people being snobby to other rich people is what's happening. These 3 rich people, one from Australia, just recently come from Australia, here to share demeaning gossip about another family of rich people.
Right. Not one of them, so far as we have any knowledge, was ever known to be touched by the softer sentiments, to swerve from his purpose, or hold his hand in obedience to the dictates of his heart. The pictures and effigies of them all show their adherence to the early Roman type. Their eyes were full. Their hair, of raven blackness, grew thick and close and curly. Their figures were massive. I'm sure they were, and typical of strength.
This is this has Howard. This is Howard all over it. Like stuff Howard liked, you know? Mm-hmm.
He's probably reading this going, oh, thank God, finally something interesting.
Eugenics.
Oh.
But yeah.
Alan.
Yep. The thick black hair, growing low down on the neck, told of vast physical strength and endurance. But their most remarkable characteristic is the eyes.
Also growing much hair out of them.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh my God. Now just imagining that. That's probably the most
hairy
horrifying.
eyes.
Hairy
Black,
eyes.
piercing, almost unendurable. They seem to contain themselves a remarkable willpower, which there is no gainsaying. It is a power that is partly racial and partly individual, a power impregnated with some mysterious quality, partly hypnotic, partly mesmeric, which seems to take away from eyes that meet them all power of resistance, nay, all power of wishing to resist.
Oh, he's describing his favorite daddy dom.
With eyes like those, set in that all-commanding face, one would need to be strong indeed to think of resisting the inflexible will that lay behind.
Okay, so
I'm sure they want to lay behind.
We're getting into kink territory.
Yeah.
Is this the explanation for why? Well, no, because Adam didn't see his uncle before he joined on. He just read the words. Because I would say this is like a good explanation for why Adam's just like, yeah, I'll do whatever. I don't care. Because like the uncle is just all commanding and has hypnotic eyes. But no, that wasn't.
Well, there was also like
Yeah.
$6,000 involved.
That's
this,
right.
And this is just describing the Caswell family, right?
Yeah, this is the Caswells.
Yeah. So this.
Oh,
yeah.
good point.
This is
No,
not,
he's literally just like, here, you wrote about Romans, and we think they're descended from Romans, and that's why you'd be interested in solving this weird mystery about hot fucking goss between these. I don't know.
Sorry,
what's going on?
dumb question.
Yeah.
How the hell are these three people related to the daddy dom, the raven eyed?
The Caswells?
They're not. None.
They're not.
They're not. They're just talking
Why do
about
they
him.
care?
Which is why it's so fucking confusing to me. It's like they're literally another rich family from down the way, and they're just like really interested in this rich family. And they're like, well, we already bring you here for this inheritance, Adam, but like we also want to like fill you in on this. We're all gossiping about these other rich family, and we think and you wrote a paper about Romans once, so we think, oh, you might be interested in this. Like what?
You know this reminds me of
Dracula.
John Carter of Mars.
Don't you dare drag John Carter of Mars into this.
Don't you dare John Carter of Mars me.
Okay, never mind.
I'm kidding. I'm rolling with it.
We got 2 more paragraphs. Okay. You may think, Adam, that this is imagination on my part, especially as I have never seen any of them.
What? I'm fucking dead.
Did you just sack back as this shit?
I'm fucking dead.
You may think, Adam, that this is all imagination on my part, given that I've made all of it up.
So it is, but imagination based on deep study. I have made use of all I know and can surmise logically regarding this strange race. With such strange, compelling qualities, is it any wonder there is a broad an idea that in the race there are some demonic possessions? That's a jump. Which tends to be a more definite belief than certain individuals have in the past sold themselves to the devil.
By the way, vaccines are fake.
Wow. No, but this almost sounds Zach Baggins.
It's because they're
seriously
Cancers
is.
and not Aquarius.
Do people have black eyes because they're possessed by demons?
Okay, and then one last paragraph. Let's take it home, Sade.
But I think I had better go to bed now. We have a lot to get through.
No.
Get to bed now, but let me tuck you in.
No. Reread that for a sentence.
I think we had better go to bed now.
Yeah,
together.
you said I think I had better go, and it's actually we had better go to bed now.
Again, I'll tuck you in. We have a lot to get through tomorrow, and I want you to have your brain clear and all your susceptibilities fresh. Moreover,
Then maybe don't go to bed.
Moreover, I want you to come with me for an early walk, during which we may notice, whilst the matter is fresh in our minds, the peculiar disposition of this place, not merely your granduncle's estate, but the lie of the country around it. There are many things on which we may speak and perhaps find enlightenment. The more we know at the start, the more things which may come into our view will develop themselves.
I like a girl with a short skirt and fresh susceptibility.
That's the end of chapter 2, but not to get everyone too excited about us continuing to read this story. But in the next chapter,
No.
an old man may go for a walk.
Holy shit.
Well, they're definitely gonna get up on the morning, on the morrow.
So wait, this guy has just hinted that they may be possessed by the demons.
Well, that's
may have,
like his assumption because they're like different or.
I
racist.
thought he was getting at this family sold themselves to the devil, and that's why they seem so demonic.
That's why they're
That's
cold.
what I got.
But
Okay.
like, what evidence does he have that they're demonic? Just that they have
None.
black hair?
None.
Zero,
He's
because he
literally
made
like,
all
I've
this
never
bullshit
seen
up.
this.
Gossip,
I'm
fully
making this
gossip.
up.
But based on deep study.
So this
Of
story
what?
is about realizing, like, actualizing fears, like neighborhood fears.
These are the kind of people
This is
who believe
about
in
like
chemtrails.
amateur historianism. It's fucking stupid.
This reminds me of the episode It's Always Sunny, where they decide to go and rescue the base and then destroy it by the end.
It just reminds me of the how the Liberty Bell got the crack in it.
Now, you know how like Marvel movies have a post-credit scene that gets you excited for whatever's coming up next?
Right.
Yeah.
I scrolled down a little bit, and I just want everyone to buckle the fuck up, because one of the things I just read was the old gentleman was quite prepared for a long walk.
That's pretty important given this story.
I'm sorry.
That's a
Samuel L.
fucking
Jackson is
cliffhanger.
Nick Fury. Eat my dick. Get prepared for an old man taking a long walk, everyone listening.
Holy shit.
This is gonna be amazing, y'all. I look forward
so
to
excited. I'm
meeting
so
y'all
excited to
again.
hear these Englishmen describe England and nothing of importance.
And maybe a white worm will show up at some point. I don't know. Happy Halloween month, everybody.
Happy Halloween month.
It takes 5 chapters to get to the white worm. We're not going to see the white worm until fucking next month.
In all honesty, these are fairly short chapters. Like if you look down to chapter 3, that's not that long. We're
Kayla,
not
they
reading-
are short. They are short chapters, but it is a bunch of sound and fury, meaning nothing. So it's going to take a long time to read them.
Yes, this is true.
Kaela, you started this.
I know.
I'm happy with our decision.
Kayla, to quote Mulan, "You have saved us all. You have also doomed us all."
Oh my god.
All right, Kaela. How do we want to close this out?
Nothing. Just end it.
Yeah, let's just end it here.
Just end
End
it.
it.
If you guys want to hear more of this, let us know. Please let us know.
Oh no, we're gonna do
No,
it.
it doesn't matter what
We're
they
gonna
do.
do it.
Sorry.
No, we're gonna do
It
it no
doesn't
matter
fucking
what.
matter
Hey,
what
even if
any
you
of you
hate, even
want.
if y'all hate this idea, we're doing it
My
Hey,
apologies.
because it makes us happy.
Hey, this is the saga you wanted. I hope you're happy. This is what you get when you ask for sagas.
If
Oh,
you want
this is
something else,
better than
I
that
just
other
want to again
story.
remind everyone that
Oh,
at
Blue?
Happy Appy Maker on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're not doing Ooblu because I hate Ooblu
Ooblu,
more
right.
than this.
Oh no.
I hate Ooblu way more than this.
Yeah. This
So
at least gives me
this is
pause.
what you get instead of Ooblu.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
At least we also have a sense of the writer himself too. That actually that makes it a little bit interesting because we know who the writer is. We know his past work. So it gives us a sense of like what the fuck is going on in his head while he's doing this.
Was he just demented?
I mean, maybe it was like old age. It could be like
I mean, he really wants to describe old men going for walks. So I mean,
Maybe
like,
he just was like trying to write to keep his mind active, and that somebody would decided to publish it. And he was just writing for
Picturing
himself.
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.